All right, namaste everyone. I am here fresh off an interview with my very dear friend and colleague and teacher, Dr. Rick Hansen. His new book, Neurodharma, just came out. And I was just interviewing him for my upcoming Resilience Summit, which launches next week. So the link is right below in the caption. Definitely sign up. It's a totally free summit. Rick is on it, which is, just such an honor. But he just went through three fundamental practices to do every single day. And I wanted to jump on here and share them with you because I was so inspired. 3 fundamental practices to do every day to cultivate resilience. So if you're not familiar with Rick's work, which is very similar in orientation to mine, it's the integration of perennial philosophies. For him, he comes from a Buddhist perspective. Mine is a little bit more of a yogic perspective. And he is also a psychologist, and then very, very interested in the neuroscience. So he weaves all of these in. And this simple practice, these 3 tools to use every day, really cover all that. So I wanted to drop these for you guys. So the first is to cultivate calm strength. So one of the things that Rick says is that it's really important to both reduce the negative, so reduce the negative experiences in our life, reduce the negative stimuli or triggers, negative thought loops that we get into, but also just as important is to strengthen the positive. And so much of his work is centered on helping to strengthen these positive aspects so they become traits. So they're not, the first way that we do this to cultivate positive traits is to create the positive state, and then that state becomes a trait and it becomes a habit. So we're actually wiring it into the nervous system. So the first tool for you to do every day to cultivate resilience, cultivate calm strength. So learn how to actually feel calmer in your body. So the biggest tip, the most simple tip for you all is to, when you're breathing, focus on extending your exhale. Anytime you extend your exhale, you will be activating the parasympathetic nervous system. I've talked a lot about this, and especially in the last couple of months, but tuning in to extending your exhale. So let's just take 3 breaths together. We'll do 4 in and then 6 to 8 counts out. So inhaling and exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, inhale for 4. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the aim, I already feel calmer, maybe you can hear it in my voice, but the aim is to really wire into our nervous system a calm, steady strength. So that's tip number 1. So when you're going for a walk, take a break several times throughout the day and focus, and you can do this with your kids, which is so great, to lengthen the exhale longer than the inhale. Second fundamental practice to cultivate resiliency, tune into warm-heartedness. Rick talks a lot in his new book, Neurodharma, about the sense of caring. So outwardly caring for others and also receiving caring. So what does it feel like when someone loves us, when someone cares for us? And the key to this is that we're wiring it into the body as a state. So let's just take a quick moment. You can close your eyes if you wish, but you certainly don't have to close your eyes. And focus on a sense of warm-heartedness. You might even bring your hand to your heart. Feel a softening here. Feel a warmth. Maybe you think about children or pets or someone that you love. And the sense of, feel into the sense of caring flowing out from you. Just continue this visualization, this feeling tone. In yoga, we call it the bhavana. What this does is it starts to generate the release of oxytocin, which is our the neurotransmitter for the bonding hormone. Now, women have 5 to 7 times more oxytocin than men, but men still, of course, have oxytocin. So we want to activate this calming oxytocin, the sense of connectedness, the sense of belonging, calling up feelings of compassion, calling up feelings of caring, and also, again, feeling cared about yourself. So last moment here, just feel into that state, that bhavana, warm heartedness, compassion, caring. And notice, then you can open your eyes and notice how that might have shifted your perspective. So again, the key is that we're not just activating a state, but we're building it into a trait. So it becomes hardwired into our system as a set point, as a default set point. Okay, the third practice to do every single day. Tune into a wider whole. Now, this is where we really tap into the perennial philosophies, timeless spiritual practices of the non-dual perspective of unity consciousness. We are one, connecting into a wider whole. So there are a few ways to do this. I'm going to give you 2 ways to do this. First is visually. This is very important because it starts to trigger in the mind, in the brain. So you can just take your fingers, you can extend outward, and just start to let your peripheral vision expand. How wide can you get with your peripheral vision? Can you actually see your fingers? You might even bring your fingers forward and then see how far out to the sides you can go. I'm gonna move my hair so I can even get further there. And how wide can you get with your peripheral vision until you can't quite see your fingertips anymore, and then bring them back just a little so they're right in your view. And now perceive all the way up, even though you're looking straight forward, can you perceive out to the corners of that purview, up above? What do you notice on the ceiling? Even though you're looking forward, what do you notice below you? So really widening in a real physiological sense of your view. So you're pulling focus into that wide lens view. And now imagine that in your life, how could you pull focus out to that wide lens view? Is there any situation or in a relationship or politics or how could you increase and cultivate a more global perspective so that we actually feel the sense of self expanding out to include the whole room, the whole building, the whole neighborhood, the whole town, the whole state, the whole country, and then out and out and out and out. So our definition of who am I begins to shift. You can release that visualization, but that's a really good one to keep cultivating. Again, this is a great one to do with kids as well. And then finally, the second way to tune into a wider whole is physically. Now this, of course, is where so much of the benefit of asana practice comes in yoga, is that physically we're training this cross-wiring of the brain through the both hemispheres of the brain. We're activating different aspects in the brain. We have what's called a default mode network. And that default mode network keeps us in a very self-referenced state. In other words, everything that's happening to us, we're lensing through the filter of me, mine, I, me, mine. So how's this affecting me? How do I feel about this? What am I going to do about this? So when we create this global perspective, or as Rick says, a wider whole, it helps us to expand outward and get more creative in our thinking, cultivate what's called whole brain thinking. And so one of the ways to do this is to focus simultaneously on the right and left sides of the body. So again, we can do this right now. You can feel free to close the eyes or not. And you might feel that bifurcation of the central spine, but then notice the right side and the left side. Is there a difference between? Does one side feel more energized than the other? And then how does it feel as a whole, as if you're a one-cell organism? Also notice the front of the body and the back of the body. Notice what's different about them. And then notice what's the same as you start to bring it into that whole perspective. And then finally, notice what's happening on the interior of the body. It's called interoception. Sensation on the inner body. Maybe any place you're feeling tightness or openness, maybe an old injury. And then notice what's happening on the outside of the body. So maybe it's sounds, temperature, texture, clothes on the skin, warmth of the sun on your skin, coolness. And then widen that to merge the inner and outer worlds. And now the inner and outer worlds, the right and the left worlds, the front and the back, the way your body exists in space, the way your body moves through space. And then again, you can close the eyes or just have the eyes softly open. Either way is fine. Can you expand that sense of self outward beyond the boundary of the physical body, beyond your skin? So maybe you can feel your sense of self expand out. Aura distance is about elbow distance in every direction around your body. Can you feel the whole orb of your aura? Or can you feel your sense of self stretch out arm's length distance in every direction? And then again, come back to your center. Can you maintain that centered individual sense of self and also that wider whole? Simultaneously, both are true at the same time. You can open your eyes when you're ready. So again, this is going to quiet the default mode network in the brain, quiet the self-referential networks in the brain, but it activates what's called our allocentric network in the brain as we move our gaze outward, as we expand outward. So we're actually cultivating what's called holism, this holistic view of life and this holistic view of self. So those are your 3 fundamental practices, straight from Dr. Rick Hansen and his new book, Neurodharma. We have it linked below. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Please also join the Resilience Summit. It starts next Wednesday. So grateful to have him on among so many other luminaries. So your 3 practices: cultivate calm strength, tune into warm-heartedness, and tune into a wider whole. Please let me know what's helpful for you, how you all are doing out there. I'm here for you and cannot wait to see you inside the summit. So please leave any questions, comments below, and I will be answering them, tuning in, sending you all so much love. Namaste.